The galactic court chamber fell silent as the last delegate took their seat. Above the central dais, a holographic Earth rotated slowly, the accused world bathed in cold blue light.
This court recognizes the petition of 47 member species. Humanity stands charged with unauthorized expansion, weapons program violations, and behavior unbecoming of a sentient member species.
Chief Prosecutor Veltora rose. His 2-century career held a near-perfect conviction record, and every gesture radiated unassailable certainty.
Esteemed magistrates, the evidence will show a pattern of reckless expansion and disregard for galactic norms. Humanity must answer for its actions.
Across the chamber, the human defense attorney, Catherine Vance, sat motionless, her gray chignon neat, her green eyes tracking every word.
47 accusers. 1 human. Let them talk.
The charges are serious. The petition carries the weight of 47 civilizations. How does the defense answer?
Catherine stood. Her voice was quiet, but it cut through the vast chamber.
Humanity pleads not guilty, and we will present evidence the prosecution does not yet possess.
Veltora's gaze narrowed. The first crack in the prosecution's certainty appeared, though no one but him felt it.
The defense waives cross-examination of the charges. We request permission to present evidence now, while the court's attention is fresh.
Veltora rose sharply, his composure fraying at the edges.
This is highly irregular. The prosecution has not yet completed its opening remarks. She cannot dictate the order of proceedings.
Irregular, but not prohibited. The court's rules allow the defense to introduce evidence at any time, provided authenticated. We have authentication.
The defense has a valid point. The court will allow introduction of evidence. Proceed, Counselor Vance.
Catherine inclined her head, a flicker of something unreadable in her eyes. She called up a holographic star map, red lines of human expansion pulsing across the void.
This map shows every system humanity entered without permission, but it does not show why.
The chamber held its breath. Even the prosecution staff leaned forward.
And why is everything. The court deserves the whole truth. I will provide it.
Veltora said nothing, but his hands gripped the edge of his bench. The first real blow was about to land. Catherine touched her console. A holographic document materialized above the defense bench, bearing the seal of the Cordasian Federation.
Exhibit A. An internal Cordasian strategic assessment, dated 80 years ago. It authorized a preemptive strike against the human colony at Proxima Centauri.
The document detailed troop deployments and projected casualties. The estimated human civilian toll, 2,000. A murmur rippled through the gallery. Several delegates leaned forward, their expressions shifting from curiosity to alarm.
This document is unverified. The prosecution demands authentication.
It has been authenticated by the Neutral Arbiters Guild. Their certification is attached.
The authentication is valid. The document is admitted. Objection overruled.
Veltora's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. Across the room, Catherine's gaze was steady.
The Cordasians attacked us without provocation. We responded in self-defense. That is the unauthorized expansion they now decry.
The gallery erupted into whispered chaos. The prosecution's narrative had just received a visible wound. Without pause, Catherine called up another holographic file, this one stamped with the icon of the Rocky Imperium.
Exhibit B. The Fraki Imperium's orbital bombardment of the human settlement on Cygnus -4. The attack destroyed a medical station and killed over 800 civilians.
Objection. The prosecution has not been given time to verify these documents.
Each document carries authentication from the Neutral Arbiters Guild. The court can review the verifications at its leisure.
Objection overruled. The pattern is becoming clear. Prosecutor, continue. Counselor?
Catherine nodded. A third file appeared, the seal of the Lethian Triad, glowing crimson.
Exhibit C. The Lethian Triad ambush of a human supply convoy near Bellatrix. 15 unarmed ships destroyed. No survivors.
I request a brief recess. The prosecution needs to examine these new materials.
Recess denied. The defense may continue.
Catherine wasted no breath. A fourth holographic file bloomed above her, the Sholvath attack on the Sirius Observatory. Valtora lowered himself into his seat, his objections spent.
Even if the petitioners acted first, humanity's response was disproportionate. They showed no restraint, no adherence to civilized combat.
Catherine's expression didn't change. She touched a control, and a grainy video filled the chamber.
This is the HFY Imperium's bombing of Cygnus -4. Watch the figure in the white coat.
The recording showed a human medic, unarmed, pulling a wounded Hakraki soldier from the rubble and treating his injuries while the bombardment continued. The gallery fell still. Several Haraki delegates lowered their heads.
Humanity's rules of engagement require that we render aid to any sentient being, regardless of species or allegiance. This medic followed that order where, in the petitioner's records, is a single act of comparable restraint.
The prosecution withdraws the behavior unbecoming charge.
The court accepts the withdrawal. The remaining charges will now be examined.
Catherine returned to her seat. The prosecution's case now consisted of threadbare accusations, and the whole court knew it. The court adjourned. In his private study, Valtora activated every defense exhibit. Holographic records filled the room. He isolated one file. The Thalvos Consortium's claim that humans attacked their outpost at Nell -3. The report described human warships opening fire on an unarmed station. It was dated, signed, and authenticated. Valtora cross-checked neutral navigation logs. The human fleet had been clear across the sector.
This cannot be explained by error. The timestamps are doctored.
He pulled the original Thalvos military registry. It showed the Thalvos launched a provocation, then falsified the record.
The evidence the prosecution gave me was a lie. The entire case was built on fraud.
He sat motionless. 2 centuries of jurisprudence crumbled under one question. What had he almost done?
I have never faced a truth like this.
The night stretched on, and he did not move. The fraud was absolute, and he was its instrument. The next morning, Valtora entered the courtroom like a man carrying a stone inside his chest. His eyes were shadowed.
The defense calls the chief authenticator of the Neutral Arbiters Guild. I have examined every defense exhibit. All are genuine and unaltered. The signatures match the petitioner's own archives.
And yet the petitioners claim these documents are fabrications. How can the court know your guild hasn't been compromised?
The guild has no motive to fabricate. Our process is transparent and auditable. We stand by our findings.
Valtora asked another question, but his voice was thin, almost pleading. The witness remained unmoved.
Chief Prosecutor, have you personally reviewed the full defense evidence file?
The question hung in the air. Valtora's silence stretched into something unbearable.
Prosecutor Valtora, answer the question.
Valtora could not speak. The court saw the truth he could not voice. He had never looked.
This court will recess for 2 days. The prosecution will use that time to review the complete defense file, every page.
Valtora stood, his limbs rigid. He did not look at the gallery as he walked out. In his chambers, his senior aides crowded him, voices urgent. They argued for countermotions, procedural attacks.
Enough. I will read the evidence myself. All of you, leave me.
When the door sealed, he activated the archive. Every document Catherine had presented bloomed around him.
I will not let others tell me what is true. I will see it for myself.
He started with the earliest record. Cordasian strike, Herkraki bombardment, Lethian ambush. Each was a wound.
They did not just attack, they celebrated. There were medals, commendations.
He read through the night cycle. The evidence did not soften. It only accumulated, a mountain of unpunished crime. When the artificial dawn came, he was still reading. The file was a fraction complete. When the court reconvened, Valtora walked to the prosecutor's bench like a man who had not slept in years.
The prosecution will call no further witnesses.
A collective gasp echoed through the gallery.
Objection. The prosecution cannot abandon its case without giving the defense the opportunity to challenge it.
The court's time is precious. The defense has already presented its evidence. I see no need to prolong.
Objection noted, but the prosecution may rest if it chooses. The court will not compel further testimony.
Then the defense requests leave to present its remaining evidence unopposed.
Granted. Counsel, you may continue.
Catherine nodded, her composure unbroken. The weight of the trial shifted entirely onto her shoulders. Valtora did not meet her eyes. He stared at the empty space where his case used to be. Catherine called up a holographic timeline. It stretched across the chamber, each marker a confirmed attack against a human settlement.
These are the true first strikes. Every petitioner's species attacked humanity before we responded.
Then she produced the final exhibit, a secret treaty among 12 petitioners, coordinating attacks and framing humanity.
The treaty's own words. Let the humans appear as aggressors. Our combined testimony will carry the day.
The gallery erupted. Delegates shouted accusations. Some tried to push toward the exits.
Order. This court will have silence.
Valtora did not move. He stared at the treaty as if it might consume him. His expression was unreadable.
This was not a trial for justice. It was a cover-up, a conspiracy to hide your own crimes behind a false petition.
She stepped back. The evidence was complete, and the moral weight of the trial had inverted completely. Humanity was no longer the accused. The petitioners' unity shattered in that moment, and the court knew it.
This court will have order, or I will clear the gallery.
One by one, petitioner delegates rose to withdraw their signatures. The Cordasians first, then the Haraki, then a flood.
The court will permit voluntary withdrawal. Those who wish to remove themselves from the petition may do so.
Over 30 species withdrew in minutes. The petition that had seemed monolithic crumbled into a handful of stubborn signatories.
The defense requests a continuance to allow the prosecution time to consider its remaining position.
Prosecutor Valtora, do you object to a continuance?
No objection. The prosecution will consider.
Granted. This court adjourns for 3 days.
The gavel echoed. Only a handful of petitioners remained, their moral authority shattered. Valtora sat motionless.
He knows, and now the whole court waits to see what he will do with it.
In his study, the remaining petitioners' messages flooded his console. Threats, bribes, appeals to legacy.
I will not meet with them. There is nothing they can offer me now.
He sealed the door and accessed the classified annexes Catherine had held in reserve. Evidence too raw for open court, a child's recorded testimony. The sky turned orange and fell. My mother pushed me into the shelter. She did not come down. The file was marked with a small handprint.
They burned cities, they burned children, and I was their instrument.
Another account, another. The archive contained hundreds, survivors, orphans, witnesses to the atrocities the petitioners denied.
I almost put my name to this. 2 centuries of honor, destroyed by my own hand if I speak the closing words.
He sat very still. The decision was not a choice. It was a recognition of what he had already become.
I cannot prosecute them. I will not.
He did not write anything yet. But somewhere deep, the man who had once been a prosecutor had already signed his name away. The continuance expired. Valtora found Catherine in the courthouse corridor, his voice lower than she had ever heard it.
Counselor Vance, a word in private, if you will.
She led him to her temporary office. The door sealed, cutting off the corridor's hum.
I have read everything. Every exhibit, every annex, every word.
Then you know what the court now knows.
I know the prosecution cannot stand. It was built on fraud. I could not put my name to a lie.
Why tell me you could simply lie down in court and let it die quietly?
Because I need to know what humanity wants. After this, what do you ask for?
We want the truth to be public, and we want to be left alone. That is all we have ever wanted.
He nodded, a slow, heavy motion. They parted without a bargain, but the understanding was absolute. That night, Veltora sat alone in his quarters. He drew a sheet of parchment from his personal store, a ritual from his earliest years on the bench.
A handwritten resignation. It must be permanent, undeniable.
He wrote a draft and discarded it. Too legal, too careful. He needed words that could not be misinterpreted.
The truth is simple. The crime was not humanity's. It was ours.
His pen moved again, steady now. The words came clearly. I will not put my name to this conviction. I cannot, as a jurist of honor, prosecute a defendant whose crime was responding to ours.
200 years. This is the only verdict my conscience will allow.
He folded the parchment twice and placed it beside his ceremonial robe. The robe was deep purple, lined with silver thread. He had worn it in 200 trials. He would never wear it again. He sat watching the robe and the note. The decision was absolute, but a strange peace settled over him. Veltora walked the grand corridor. His robe was folded over his arm, the note tucked inside. He pushed open the courtroom doors. The chamber was empty, the holographic earth still slowly spinning. He laid the purple robe on the marble bench, the silver clasped, catching the amber spotlight. The note he pinned on top. For a long moment, he looked at the empty seat. Then he turned and left through a side door. He climbed to the observation gallery and took a seat in deepest shadow, unseen by any. The courtroom filled. Delegates froze as they saw the prosecutor's bench, empty but for a folded robe and a note. A murmur swept the gallery. Where was the prosecutor? What had he done? Magistrate Cale entered, his floating bench silent. He saw the note and lifted it from the robe. Catherine rose from the defense bench, her expression calm but watchful. The silence in the chamber became absolute. All eyes fixed on the parchment in Cale's hand. Magistrate Cale unfolded the parchment. He read the words in silence first, his ovoid form perfectly still.
I will not put my name to this conviction. I cannot, as a jurist of honor, prosecute a defendant whose crime was responding to ours.
The words echoed through the chamber, amplified by the court's acoustics. For a heartbeat, there was no sound at all. Then the gallery erupted. Shouts, accusations, the scrape of delegates rising from their seats.
He did it. He actually did it.
The remaining petitioners shrank back, their faces masks of fury and fear. Some pushed toward the exits.
This court will come to order, sealing the chamber.
Catherine stood motionless, hands folded. Her expression was composed, but her eyes glistened. In the shadowed gallery, Veltora watched. No one saw him. His part was done. The trial had ended, but no one had yet spoken the words that would make it final. The remaining petitioners surged to withdraw. Their names vanished from the docket in rapid succession. Within minutes, the 47-signature petition was gone. Not a single charge remained.
The defense moves for dismissal with prejudice. There are no charges left to answer.
Magistrate Cale's sensory organs focused on her. The silence stretched, but the decision was inevitable.
This court finds no remaining charges. The petition is dismissed with prejudice.
The gavel descended. The holographic earth above the chamber glowed brighter, as if the planet itself exhaled. For a long breath, no one moved. The verdict that wasn't hung in the air, heavier than any conviction.
It's over.
Delegates began to rise, faces shocked, some weeping. Others stared at the empty prosecutor's bench, the folded robe, the note. The trial that had sought to brand humanity, a criminal, had instead etched a prosecutor's name into the galaxy's conscience. Catherine remained standing as the courtroom began to empty. She addressed the bench one last time.
One final request. Magistrate, let the full trial record, every exhibit, every word, be entered into the Galactic Court's permanent public archive. Seal it against redaction. The truth must survive this chamber.
Granted, the record will stand as it was made. This court preserves the truth.
Catherine nodded once. then lifted her gaze toward the shadowed observation gallery above. In the darkness, a tall, gray-blue figure rose. Veltora looked down, and for a single heartbeat, their eyes met. No words passed. He inclined his head, a gesture of respect, of finality. She returned it. Then he turned, his silhouette sharp against the corridor light, and walked away from the court forever. The great doors sealed behind him. The chamber was still, the folded robe and note still resting on the empty bench. Above, the holographic earth continued its slow turn, glowing steady and bright. Weeks after the trial, Veltora settled into a small habitat on a library moon. The only sounds were the hum of climate control and the whisper of turning pages. He unpacked only essentials: data crystals, a few physical books, and a case of parchment. The ceremonial robe he never saw again.
The galaxy debates my resignation. I write about what a jurist owes to truth.
On Earth, Catherine's terminal chimed. A holographic letter materialized, bearing an elegant alien script she recognized instantly.
He wrote to me after everything.
The message was brief. We both served truth in the end. It is enough. Catherine read the line twice. A smile broke through her composed exterior, the first genuine one since the trial began.
And that is everything.
She began her reply immediately, the words flowing without hesitation. The correspondence would be the first of many. Weeks later, on the library moon, Veltora read her response. A rare, gentle warmth touched his features, and he reached for his pen. In a galactic legal academy, a hologram displayed the trial record. Today we examine Veltora's resignation, the professor announced. He highlighted a passage. He reviewed the full evidence and resigned rather than prosecute an innocent species. That is integrity. On Earth, an older Catherine Vance, hair gray, sat by a window with a parchment letter. The alien script was unmistakable. The letter read, "My friend, my hand is heavy. My years are concluding, but I am grateful. You taught me what justice requires." Her eyes traced each word.
He is dying, and he thanks me.
Your integrity gave me a path when I had none. Know that I am at peace. Catherine held the letter to her chest, silent as the afternoon light shifted around her.
Peace, old friend. You earned it.
In the academy, students took notes, unaware of the quiet moment on Earth that mirrored the case they studied. On the library moon, a small gathering of varied species stood under the transparent dome. A simple stone marked the grave. A shimmer resolved into the holographic form of Catherine Vance. The only human present, she stood beside the stone. Her hand reached down, and a single white flower materialized on the earth. The gesture was silent.
He chose truth over victory. That is all any of us can hope to do.
The mourners bowed their heads. No other words were needed. The hologram flickered once and dissolved, leaving the grave empty again. The starlight pressed against the dome. On Earth, Catherine sat by her window, the letter in her lap. Outside, the sun was setting. In his study on the library moon, the chair where he had written his final letters sat empty, but the shelf held everything. The transcripts, preserved in the Galactic Archive, carried his name forward. The trial no longer belonged to the petitioners. It belonged to the jurist who had laid down his robe. Outside the Galactic Court, a new monument stood, an empty prosecutor's bench carved from dark marble, the folded robe draped in stone. Law students paused before it, their species varied, their eyes tracing the inscription. Inside, the holographic earth turned slowly above the archival display, the trial transcripts glowing in the perpetual light. In her home, Catherine Vance, now silver-haired, held a small keepsake, a data crystal containing his letters. She pressed it to her forehead, a gesture of thanks, then placed it carefully beside the window. On the library moon, artificial sunset bathed the empty chair in amber. The shelf behind it held no trophies, only essays on integrity and truth. The dome above showed the galaxy turning, the trial now a fixed star in the legal firmament. In a classroom on a distant world, a professor's voice echoed. The evidence was absolute, so was his choice, and the chair on the library moon sat empty, but full of meaning, as the stars continued their slow, indifferent watch.